Welcome to the virtual class of Corporate Social Responsibility. In previous sessions, I have discussed all theoretical aspects related to CSR. But practical application is beyond theoretical learning, and that is why to enrich your knowledge, I have made an attempt to explain the things with the practical aspect. As we all know that corporate social responsibility is a journey towards a profit-centric approach to society-centric approach. Now the question is how a company is going to incorporate all the details related to CSR in its report. For the purpose of explanation and better understanding, I would like to discuss this thing with a practical approach. And for the purpose of practical application, I have selected a company called Tata Consultancy Services, TCS. One of the best company as far as CSR is concerned. With the help of annual report of 2019-20, I will explain how a company is going to disclose its CSR in its report. Let us start the topic with the basic understanding that a company is required to publish its annual reports, and it is compulsory. As per the provisions of Companies Act 2013, it is compulsory for any company to prepare and present annual reports to the public in case of public limited company. And annual reports of the company includes so many things. It is available on your screen that it includes information about the company, information related to board of directors, team management, letter from the chairman, CEO, performance highlights of the company, TCS response to COVID-19 because it's a year of COVID, business model, operating model, customer experience, question answer with CEO and CHRO, purpose-driven business model, notice, director's report, management discussion, and so on. This is nothing more than index of the annual report of TCS for the year 2019-20. So don't think that annual report of any company includes only and only financial statements. That is profit and loss account or say income statement and balance sheet or cash flow statement. Annual report of a good company include so many things, and these all informations are available to you on your screen. In some of the cases, informations are more or less, but everything is presented by the TCS very precisely. Now, the question comes to us. As per section 134, subsection 3, clause O, corporate social responsibility report is to be included in the annual report of the company. As per the provisions of the Companies Act, it is compulsory to prepare and present CSR report in the annual report of the company. So the question is, where it is included? The details of CSR is included in a director's report. In the content, one of the item is director's report. So information related to CSR is included in director's report of the company. Here we can say that CSR reporting is a part of annual report, but it is included in director's report section. Let us move further. the CSR report should contain. Now, how many items included in a CSR report? CSR report should contain the brief outline of the CSR policy of the company as adopted by the board and all initiatives taken by the company on CSR. As per the report of TCS given on page number 49, the activities performed by the company under CSR is presented under Annexure 2. And let us go through the Annexure 2 for the purpose of learning how a company is going to present all the activities related to CSR in the business report. The first and foremost item, a company has to present a brief outline of CSR policy. Abstract of the project, abstract means in brief, of the project proposed to be undertaken and web link to the policy. It is compulsory for the company to provide a website link in CSR report, that is first part. Here you can say that the link of the websites are available. As and when you click on these links, the link will divert you towards the CSR policy framed by the TCS and all other initiatives related to community and its impact will be available to you even on the web resource. So the first item of a CSR report includes a very brief outline of CSR policy framed by the company with the brief note on proposed project and web link to the policy. Then the report includes the composition of CSR committee. At the time of discussion of CSR committee, I have discussed composition with theoretical aspect. But here I will explain how it is included in the annual reports. On page number 55 of the annual report, it is mentioned that the company has a CSR committee of directors comprising N. Chandrasekharan, chairman of the committee, O.P. Bhatt and N. Ganpati Subramaniam. As we know that out of these three directors, one should be independent director. For that, you need to refer theoretical lecture. So this is a composition of CSR committee. There are 3 members available in CSR committee of TCS, out of which Mr. N. Chandrasekharan playing the role of chairman. This detail is available on page number 122 of the annual report. Then one more information that we need, it is all about average net profit of the company for last 3 financial years for the purpose of computation of CSR. At the time of discussion of theory, I have discussed that for the calculation of CSR, we need to calculate average net profit of the last 3 years. So the company has to present this information in its CSR report. On page number 55 of the annual report, it is given that average net profit of the TCS for last 3 financial years for the purpose of computation of CSR is 30,003 crores rupees. So the company has to present this information very precisely in the annual reports under the CSR activities. Then next one, the CSR report should contain proposed CSR expenditure at the rate of 2% of the average net profit for the last 3 years. As I discussed that it is minimum 2%. So if you want to pay more than 2%, you are free. But what is proposed amount of CSR at the rate of 2% of the average net profit for the last 3 years? This information is also included in the report and it should be disclosed for the purpose of transparency. It was one of the pillar. Prescribed CSR expenditure 2% of the amount as in item 2 above that we have discussed earlier, 30,003 crores. So 2% of 30,003 crores is equal to 600 crores rupees. It means during the year 2019-20, TCS has contributed rupees 600 crores on CSR related activities. You can find these details on page number 55 of the annual report. Then the report should include details of the amount spent on CSR during the financial year. Earlier we have discussed the proposed amount at the rate of 2% of the average net profit for the last 3 years. Apart from your proposed amount of CSR, it is compulsory for the company to present the amount actually spent on CSR during the financial year. And as per the information available in the annual report of TCS, the TCS has spent rupees 600 crores during the year 2019-20. So, A, total amount spent 600 crores. B, amount unspent. In case of TCS, it is nil because the company is required to pay 600 crores on CSR related activities. And in fact, TCS has paid all 600 crores on these kind of activities. So this is one of the most important part, that total amount proposed and total amount spent are equal, and that is why amount unspent is a nil. And this is possible only in case of certain good companies that their unspent amount is nil. And third item, that is a manner in which amount spent during the year. It is not enough that you just mentioned in your annual report that the company has spent 600 crores. It is also necessary for the company to present how it is spent. And for this purpose, the company has to prepare a table, a format with 8 different columns. More or less, the format remains same. Serial number of the activity, CSR project or activity identified by the company, sector in which project is covered, projects or programs, local area, or either specify the state and the district where projects or programs was undertaken, amount or budgeted expenditure on the program, amount spent on the project or program, direct expenditure, overheads, etc., cumulative expenditure up to the reporting period, and last, amount spent direct or through implementing agency. These kind of informations are published by the TCS in its annual report on page number 56 and 57. This annual report is available on website. Simply type annual report TCS 2019-20. You can find it very easily in Google. So it is one of the best practice by TCS to present everything very transparently in its annual report. Then it should include the information related to unspent amount in case company failed to spend 2% of the net profit. But at present we are discussing for TCS. In case of TCS, no information related to unspent amount of CSR is there because the company proposed 600 crores for CSR and the company actually spent 600 crores on CSR. So unspent amount is zero, and that is why it is clearly mentioned over here, not applicable. But suppose in case of any other company, if there is a balance of unspent amount of CSR, then the board of directors are or the committee members of the CSR committee required to present the reasons and explanations why they failed to spend amount proposed by the CSR committee on CSR related activities. So it is one of the control measurement on any company. But in case of TCS, this particular clause provision is not applicable because TCS is spending much more than that of the requirement. So in case of TCS, there is no unspent amount of CSR. You can find this information on page number 55 of the annual report. The CSR report should contain a responsibility statement of CSR committee that implementation and monitoring of CSR policy is in compliance with CSR objectives and policy of the company. We have already discussed CSR policy at the time of discussion of theory lectures. Now, in this particular item, the CSR committee members are required to take the responsibility that whatever the policy framed by the company as far as CSR is concerned, whatever the objectives are there for CSR policy, the company is following all the objectives very properly and spending the amount on fulfillment of such objectives. Proper implementation of the policy is there, proper monitoring of the policy is there, and everything is working according to the provisions laid down in the Companies Act. This information is available in the annual report of TCS on page number 55. So, CSR is disclosed in annual report of the company under director's report. I hope everybody is clear with the disclosure of CSR activities in the financial reporting. Thank you. God bless you.